Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook download at www.audibletrial.com/comedy podcast network. Over 100,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player.
Welcome to another Sports podcast. I'm Joel Anderson.
I'm Jordan Pomaville.
And joining us, as always, is the sports outsider, Phil Ranta.
My name's Phil.
Thank you, Phil.
And what? What do you want me to say?
Did you catch any games this week?
You know what? Interesting story about catching games this week. I went to E3 this week, the Electronics Entertainment Expo, and I spent some time in the EA Sports area.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, you know what they say?
It's in the game.
Yeah. If it's in the game, it is
in the game. Yeah.
So I consider that kind of like watching a sport.
I'll be honest with you. They usually have accurate rosters.
Yeah.
They make really good products.
There you go.
I imagine this is actually probably a much better way for Phil to learn actual things about sports than him watching sports, because I think he just tunes out when he watches sports.
Yeah, that's why every time I see a sport now, I'm like, hit X.
Yep.
No, L button, right trigger.
There are some sports that I learned a lot about from a video game.
Oh, yeah, because you see all the statistics. I feel like when you're young, it was a great way to learn the entire league. But before the internet, when all we had was Sports Center as a way of getting highlights.
I used to watch the plays of the week when my brother was watching it, and then I wouldn't watch any of the rest of it.
Of the week.
Yep, that's what I watched.
I think the one big thing that allowed me to learn about tennis was Mario Tennis. I'm not even kidding.
I don't think that's accurate.
No, because the difference between like topspin and slice, and where you are in the court, because in Mario Tennis you never hit it out, so it's really like you're like, oh, if I hit a topspin shot cross court from this position, what's that going to look like? And honest to God, understanding the strategy of tennis, nothing did more for me.
Is that why every
Super
time
Tennis
you're
on
about
GameCube.
to play tennis, you always eat a bunch of mushrooms? Is that why?
Well, I also just enjoy eating mushrooms.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
There must be some kind of way out of here.
Wow.
That
was a baritone version of All Along the Watchtower.
I don't have a high voice.
Yeah, also not quite in key.
Yeah, sorry.
No.
Let's not critique Phil's singing. We already critique his knowledge of sports.
But you did you play any of the video games?
I didn't have a ton of time to play the video games, but I played a couple.
You're at a video game festival. What the fuck do you do
I was
there?
working.
Not to play
I was working.
You were? You're a contractor from Brooklyn now.
I was handing out business cards, eating some pizza. You got to fold it.
You do. That's how you eat their pizza.
True. That's how you eat the pizza.
You fold a slice.
Yeah. So, Jordan, what do we have on the docket?
Oh, wow. Well, we're going to talk with... we have first of all, big guest.
Whoa. Oh, another big guest.
Commissioner of Basketball, David Stern.
Oh,
from Home Alone.
No, that's Daniel Stern.
Yeah.
Oh, then I'm not excited
also,
anymore.
He'd be a pretty big guest. Daniel Stern, very funny guy.
Yeah.
But not who we have on the show today.
All right. Well,
David Stern, the iron-fisted commissioner of the NBA for how long has it been? It's been like 20 or something years?
It's coincided with Mubarak, actually. Only he outlasted Mubarak.
Right. Mubarak's still alive, but not for long.
Yeah. Well, no, in terms of his role, position of power.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
And ironically enough, did it because, before the internet. Before people, he would not let people get the information, so he will continue to reign as glorious commissioner.
Fair enough.
And we have no idea just how much of the internet David Stern is currently blacking out.
We would have no way of knowing.
Yeah, it could be a lot of it, guys. There could be a lot that we're not getting because of David Stern.
He bugs Bill Simmons' house.
Yep.
Yeah.
That sort of thing.
But then Bill Simmons puts a bunch of micro machines on the ground, and then he slips on it, and then he opens the door, and there's a flamethrower over the door, and it burns his head.
This is back on Home Improvement again, isn't it?
It's Home Alone.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Home Alone.
No,
There are
Home
no
Improvement
traps
has
involved.
Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
But also slapstick comedy.
There's no Jonathan Taylor Thomas is not in Home Alone. It's Macaulay Culkin.
No, it's
But Home Improvement has Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Yes, Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
And am I not mistaken, didn't Jonathan Taylor Thomas take over the role of Kevin in Home Alone like 4 or something? Am I going completely bonkers, or did that actually happen?
You're thinking of the one with Chevy Chase.
Wait, then which one was Monkey Bone?
Okay, well now you've completely. What do you mean monkey?
If
bone?
we had drops, we could have a hilarious one like, look out, we're way off course.
Yeah, that would be great.
Wow, what
There
else
are
is
other
on
things
the
going
decade?
on.
Yeah.
Well, there's other sports stuff. Oh, you got Nick Lindstrom retired.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I don't know who that is.
What?
Don't worry, we're going to talk about it
We'll talk
later.
about it. We have
Okay,
a
He's
long
one of the
thing
greatest
prepared.
defensemen of all time.
Yeah.
Sure.
So we have that
One
to
of the great hockey
discuss.
players of all time.
Hey, Phil,
Yeah.
do we have a weird sport?
You're goddamn right we do. Oh, I'm excited for this one. This one's so weird, and it actually is a sport.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay. This is.
Oh,
this
really?
Is, not
Is
gonna
it?
Be
Yeah, it's not like a game.
This is
'cause
not
you
going to
guys-
be like the super duper fire race where there's no super duper.
Firematic racing is sports-like.
I didn't know that was a sport. I never said it wasn't a sport. It was just really disappointing that nothing got lit on fire.
Well, I'm sorry. This
Yeah.
one's better. This one's awesome. You'll like it.
All right.
Okay. All right.
Well, first we actually have one story to lead off about the NFL.
Ooh, National Football
In America,
Liaisons.
NFL is king. And what happened recently is the Pro Bowl was played this past year, and it sucked. And even the Hawaiians, who go to this every year and are super jacked about it because they get NFL football, pro football on their island nation.
Hey, brother, we talk story and watch some ball.
That's not. That's a stereotypical Jamaican accent. First of all.
Well, Hawaii's also not
you
their own
haven't
nation.
heard pidgin then. That's how they speak pidgin over in Hawaii.
Well, they talk
Alright.
story. They say that a
Oh,
lot.
actually, you know
they're just
what?
talking
Oh,
I
brother, we talk
apologize.
story.
If anybody knows Hawaii, it's Phil.
Yeah.
I went once when I was like 9, but you've been a lot recently, so.
They were booing. They were
Booing.
booing
What?
NFL players.
Booing the Pro Bowl.
Booing the Pro Bowl. They were so disappointed. And afterwards, the commissioner of football said, well, we might not do this anymore.
Oh wow.
But then they changed their minds.
Why?
Well,
It actually
apparently-
sounds like a good. I think of all the All-Star games, which are quite frankly, I think collectively kind of lame.
Right.
The Pro Bowl was the lamest because it's a sport that just can't be played.
In an exhibition format.
Yeah.
Well, basically, Commissioner, what's his name? Tagliabue? Am I getting-
Tagliabue? No, that's
No,
one
it
of the
was,
Wiggles.
It was Paul Tagliabue.
Who-
Who's the current
Goodell.
commissioner? Yeah,
Goodell.
Patrick Goodell.
That's a normal
This
name.
podcast is being recorded in 2003.
Yeah.
But anyway, he
Didn't
made
help that I blinked on it. Wow.
this was actually this was like the sub headline of the article was made players promise it will be more competitive. Like,
wow.
Pro Bowl
Whoa.
to be around, players promise to make it competitive.
So wait, they told the players they had to start playing?
Yeah, because this is what incited the boos is a perceived lack of effort. Which, if you can notice a lack of effort from Section 600, they probably aren't trying.
Yeah.
Right.
I think it wasn't just perceived. I would say it was a legitimate lack of effort.
What were they doing? Were they just like hike and then they grab the ball and they just kind of take 2 steps
Pretty
and
much.
fall over
Like
and they're
guys
like,
guys probably aren't hitting each other too hard.
Ironically
Sure,
enough,
I
it
blame
was
them.
less prep work went into it than this podcast.
No, not possible.
Yes.
Joel doesn't write anything.
Hey,
Whoa, whoa.
wow.
We don't-
Just because that's true doesn't mean you need to tell all the
We
people
don't
at
air
home.
that in public.
Okay,
You know.
but it's true. Joel doesn't write anything.
It's a fair point. I don't really write anything.
But anyway, we actually have a clip now of the NFL Players Association representative, Dominique Foxworth. I almost said Diamond Deke Foxworth.
Oh, it's hey, I'm Diamond Deke.
No, but basically, this is him after his discussion with Goodell on how they are going to have the Pro Bowl.
Well, I'd like to listen to it.
Yeah, okay. Hello, everyone. The players believe that the Pro Bowl is an important tradition. Seriously, we do. And we worked hard with the league to make sure the best players in the NFL are honored for their achievements in the field. I'm dead serious here, folks. The players in no way find the game useless. Additionally, we'd like to refute the criticism. The players only attend so that their wives, girlfriends, baby mamas, and or mistresses can get a trip to Hawaii. It's plainly false. That's all the time I have for comments right now. Goodbye. Okay, we are really thrilled to have today a huge guest in the Sports podcast, David Stern, Commissioner of the NBA. Welcome to the show.
Hey, what's going on,
It's
David?
great to be here.
It's great to have you here, David.
It's great to be here to promote the National Basketball Association here in our NBA playoffs.
Yes, and we
Yeah.
are thrilled to have you.
Well, it's great to be here on the Sports podcast.
Hey, you remembered.
Yeah,
That's
remember the
better than
name
most
of
of our
the-
guests.
Yeah, but David, we're gonna cut right to the quick here.
Yeah,
all right,
who are
let's
you?
cut to the quick.
Who are you?
He's the commissioner of the
I'm
NBA.
the commissioner of the
Is the
National
commissioner of the
Basketball
NBA kind of like the commissioner in Batman? Like Batman comes to him
Oh,
and he's just
I
like,
wish.
Commissioner Gordon?
Yeah.
I
No,
wish.
no, that's a police commissioner, but he represents the owners and basically makes decisions for the entire National Basketball Association.
Smart, informed decisions that benefit
It
our
is
teams.
a position of incredible power within the
absolutely,
league, which
absolutely.
some people have criticized you of using in a fairly unilateral sense.
Well, there's always going to be critics, Joel.
Yeah, well, that's something that we actually sort of want to broach here today in the Sports podcast. You rather surprisingly agreed to this interview without any preconditions.
That is correct. That is correct.
Which
My
is why-
publicist, Tommy, is sick.
Oh, that's why.
So
Tommy Lasorda, his publicist.
the reason why I have been unable to write a lot for the podcast recently is because I have been assembling a lot of different materials, Mr. Stern, about the alleged conspiracies that exist in the NBA.
Conspiracies.
Yeah, I know that you've been extremely critical of these,
Yeah,
particularly the one involving officiating and that the officials are supposedly
no.
guiding certain teams.
That was an unfortunate incident, Joel. We found that person. He has been removed, and we did an investigation.
Yeah. Well, prior to him being discovered, you did say that this is all complete hogwash, and it certainly appears that it's not complete hogwash because one of your refs was on the take from organized crime people and said that he had specifically made calls that were unfair in the NBA
There was
playoffs.
some hogwash involved in that,
Okay,
Joel.
all right. We're going to call that hogwash, but...
No, wait, whoa. This really happened in real life?
Well, really happened in real life are subjective terms.
No, David, they're
No,
not.
this is your company, and you should get this shit on
It's the
lockdown.
National
Yeah.
Basketball Association. I make the right moves for all of
Yeah.
my teams.
No, this is hogwash. You're hogwash.
Phil,
Some of it
if
is
you could let me
hogwash.
go, I've got a lot to cover here, okay?
Okay,
I
just don't
know
listen
if
to
you
this
saw
guy's
the-
hogwash.
The banker boxes that I have collected in the back here, but I have a whole lot of stuff that we got to work through.
Okay,
So,
okay.
The next thing we're going to move on to is the New Orleans Hornets recently winning the first pick
No,
in the
this
NBA
is a
draft.
success story, Joel, because this was a team that was not doing well. We found them an owner.
Yeah.
The league is going to transfer ownership, and they're going to get Anthony Davis. He's a very exciting player.
You're absolutely right. He's an exciting player, but some people would point out that the Charlotte Bobcats, who went 7-59 for the worst winning percentage in history, are picking second. And this is not the first time your supposedly random lottery for the first overall pick has been called into question.
Well, it's weighted. It is weighted.
It is weighted, but some people would point out that it was extremely unlikely for the New Orleans Hornets to win this pick, and more voices have been making legitimate claims that you have actually conspired to give the New Orleans Hornets, a team owned by the NBA, the first overall pick in order to sweeten the deal and come through with a new owner.
I don't think it's possible for any objective person to see how a league would favor a team it owns over a team not owned by the league.
Is your thumb on the
I
scale?
represent-
Is your thumb on the scale, Stern? Answer me.
I don't
Phil,
understand
Phil.
the
No,
metaphor.
this is hogwash,
You
Joel.
have a
We
history
don't
of
have to
being
listen to
abusive
this
towards
word
our
This
hogwash.
sounds like a metaphor a marijuana drug dealer would use.
Hey,
Okay.
you know
Thumb
what?
on the scale.
Maybe if you took some marijuana every once in a while, your mind would be open to truth and justice.
The NBA's drug testing policy has made great advancements since I took over the National Basketball Association. I represent all of my teams with a fair and even hand.
Well, that's honestly hard to hear you say, David, because I again have several bankers boxes over here of evidence
do
that I
see
have
that.
collected that would point towards a lot of the conspiracy theories that have been raised about you, and even several more are in fact completely accurate. And these include photographic evidence, documentation. I don't know if we at the Sports podcast have a system of microphones in every single sporting venue in the entire country.
Oh, yeah.
World, yeah.
Oh, I listen in sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey,
As
wait
I
a
would
second.
expect
Those
you
are
would.
my microphones.
Those
This
are-
guy is hogwash.
Those are
Hey,
public
He's taking away my microphones.
Anyone, I do the best for my 30 teams. Might be 32
so-
now.
So
I'm calling
we
Batman.
have a couple of other things that we want to discuss here. First of all is Michael Jordan's alleged retirement when he went to go play baseball.
Michael wanted to play baseball.
A lot of people have suggested that that is completely ridiculous, and that in fact you were covering for the biggest star in your game potentially receiving a gambling suspension.
Oh.
Something that many people have pointed out, that in his personal life, Michael Jordan is an avid gambler.
Well, Michael's a competitive guy.
That's absolutely true. We do have a picture. This is you. I don't know if you've seen this.
Okay.
It's you, and you are sitting next to Michael Jordan. This was taken in Vietnam. In the back room of a restaurant, and you appear to both be waving large stacks of bills at two guys playing Russian roulette.
Well, that's not entirely. I'm sitting on a pile of cash.
You are actually sitting on a pile of cash.
Yeah, maybe you can't see the pictures a little. It may look like lint, but that's Vietnamese money.
Okay.
Wow, you know what? I've got no problem with this.
I'm not. Well,
this is the
some
first one
people,
I've got no
some people
problem
might.
with.
In the developing nations, they need our tourism.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
You're giving money.
Let's move
gambling
right on
should be
here.
legal.
Patrick Ewing to the Knicks.
Oh,
This is once again the New York Knicks, obviously one of the biggest franchises in the NBA. Patrick Ewing was the biggest player at the time. The Knicks managed to land the #1 pick in your supposedly fair lottery, weighted lottery, despite that being extremely unlikely.
I think he's turning into a frog. He keeps going, bah.
I'm hearing all of your points.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
okay.
I wanna hear you respond to that.
Well, it's not true.
Airtight.
Yeah.
Where are the bodies buried, Stern?
Well,
Because we do, and again, I'm going to
Meadowbrook.
show you. This is an 8x10 glossy print,
yeah.
and it is you spraying some sort of substance onto the Knicks envelope and looking over your shoulder conspiratorially.
Well, that's stickums. They used to let you put that on your hands in football.
But if you put it onto the envelope prior to the draft, it seems like you would have an easy time having that be the one that you pulled out of the bin.
Oh, it's just so I could grab a correct one, Joel. I don't want to.
You just said correct one.
I mean a random one.
Right. Okay. All right.
This
Sometimes
sounds
you
like
use words
world-class
interchangeably.
hogwash.
Yeah, well, speaking of world-class
World-class
hogwash, we're going to
hogwash.
move right on here. I want you to take a look at these pictures.
Okay.
These are from 1963. They're taken in Dallas. This is a picture of the grassy knoll on the day that JFK was assassinated.
Oh, is that the one by the book repository?
Yes, the one by the book repository.
And what is a guy doing with an umbrella there?
Yeah, no,
on such a sunny day.
you can see some of these other ones. It's you removing the umbrella portion to reveal a high-powered rifle, and that is clearly you, David Stern, as you were wearing your Letterman's jacket.
Well, that's a grainy photograph, Joel.
I think the resolution is impressive.
Very
great
grainy.
back then.
It's clearly you.
Grainy.
It is. Can you tell us your whereabouts on that day in 1963?
I don't actually remember where I was the day Kennedy was shot.
Really?
What?
Oddly
Everybody
enough.
remembers.
That's the one specific thing that most people claim to remember.
I don't have a recollection of where I was. I do the best for all the teams in the league, competitive balance, spread.
You know what? I can't even see in this room because it's so full of hogwash.
Hogwash. And
There is
surprisingly
hogwash
enough,
all over
I'm
the
gonna
walls.
move on from the Kennedy assassination because it keeps going. Mr. Stern, is this a picture of you with Oliver North meeting with the Contras and the Ayatollah?
Not.
That's not what that is?
Explicitly.
Okay. I have a picture of
The
you
NBA
here.
would like to expand maybe to Tehran.
Yeah, a picture. This is another picture of you being inducted into the Mason Society.
Well, that would be odd considering they're a Protestant organization and I am a Jewish man.
It is odd.
I'm a Mason.
Yeah. Okay. Here's another picture of you being inducted into the Knights Templar.
Well, the Knights Templar do not exist, Joel.
You know what? I once owned a pig, and every once in a while that pig needed to be bathed. So I'd like to think that I know pretty well what hogwash looks like.
Well, you
and
might.
this,
Ranta.
Mr. Stern, is some of the thickest hogwash I have ever seen in my life.
So again, we have bankers' boxes full of evidence here.
I
Mr.
don't.
Stern, do you have a final rebuttal that you would like to give?
No.
Oh my God, he's malfunctioning.
What's going on?
What? Hold on, there's
he-
steam
he-
coming out of his ears.
He turned into a bat. He turned into a bat and he has flown away. He has flown out the window. His empty suit remains.
Wow. Can I keep the suit?
Yes, you can keep the suit, but
All
we would
right.
like the listeners to know that David Stern killed Kennedy, participated in the Iran-Contra scandal, was a member of the Knights Templar, which is a Catholic organization, so that's a weird one too, and may in fact be a vampire.
Oh, gross. The suit is covered in hogwash. And now it's time for another Weird Sports! Weird Sports.
Oh, jeez, I just belched.
You okay?
You
You okay, Joel? You were so excited for Weird Sports that it came out your mouth.
I am so excited, yeah. What do we got this week?
This week's Weird Sport, shin kicking.
No.
Yep. Shin kicking.
Is that a sport as much as it...
You're goddamn right it's a sport. It is the sport for people who are shin kicking enthusiasts.
This is a thing.
Yeah, this is a thing.
People are kicking shins.
Yep. Well, let me explain more.
Was this a spin-off of soccer?
Kind of. It's just the best part of soccer done over
The best
and over
part
again.
of 8-year-old soccer.
That's what I think. Like, when I hear shin kicking, I'm like, this is what 6-year-olds do to each
I'm
other.
intrigued to find out how they made shin kicking competitive.
Well, here we go. I'll go with it then. Shin kicking, also known as purring, spelled like a cat purring.
Meow.
Which seems like two very different things. A cat purr and shin kicking.
So wait, is this shin kicking also known as purring?
Yeah, it's also known as purring, is a combat sport that involves two contestants attempting to kick each other on the shin to force their opponent to the ground.
Oh my gosh, this is awesome. This is a great, awesome sport.
I'm in.
There you go.
This
I'm
is
totally bought
it's
in.
like reverse boxing.
Right, exactly.
You're only allowed to hit
just
people
hitting
very
shins.
close to the ground.
Shin.
I mean, I don't know if you've ever been kicked in the shin really hard. Shit hurts.
I have.
Shit hurts.
I think like once when I was in like elementary school,
Yeah.
I think I said something degrading to a girl and she countered.
Degrading.
Yeah. No means
I
no,
don't even
Were
Joel.
you like in elementary school? You dumb fucking slut.
Yeah.
Well, no,
Fuck you,
nothing
bitch.
like that. It is me after all, but I think I made fun of her somehow and I got kicked in the shin. It does hurt.
You
a
had
lot.
it coming. I'm
Very
sure.
little skin there. You get
Pretty much
bruised.
just bones.
Yeah, that bone. You hit the bone, you get a lump.
You get a contusion.
You get a contusion.
Definitely thumped my shin
Jan
on a coffee table a
Hooks,
few times.
Victoria Jackson, contusion. All right. It has been described as an English martial art, of course.
Hey, go in your shin. In your shin.
Oh, kick in your shin,
Will.
Oh,
in your shin.
Yeah.
Oh, my shin.
The Japanese know how to do it right. The English, not so much.
So let's tick another one up there on our British Isles weird sport counter. I
Right.
believe at this point they're responsible for at least half of them.
And
Yeah.
this one they claim to be a martial art.
Yeah.
A martial art.
Yeah.
Like
what-
karate.
Yeah.
Like karate, yeah. They consider it a
Karate is
martial
something
art.
you could actually imagine being used in a fight. It seems like the only way shin kicking exclusively is going to be a fight is if you agree beforehand that that's all you can do.
Or if somebody is so tall that all you can reach is their shins.
But possibly. What are the rules?
Okay, this is one of my favorite parts. It originated in England in the early 17th century and was one of the most popular events at the Cotswold Olympic Games until the games ended in 1850. When did the real Olympics start?
1896.
Huh?
In
The
Athens.
Cotswold Olympic Games predates the Olympic Games we know
I
today.
imagine much more prestigious in their time.
Sure,
Yes.
and they had shin kicking.
Yeah, which not in the current Olympics.
Right.
Which I think is obviously a black eye to the entire
Great
IOC.
oversight! It became a popular pastime amongst Cornish miners.
I can't imagine that. Those guys, so docile.
Yeah, right?
Laid back, great lives.
Yeah. The canary's dead. Let's kick each other in the shins. Kick, 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 kick.
Your shins are as black as my phlegm. Oh, dying. I'm dying. Oh.
In the 19th century, the sport was also practiced by English immigrants to the United States.
Who let them in?
Yeah, woof, woof, woof,
Shut
woof.
the door.
It was included in the 1951 revival of the Cotswold Olympic Games and remains one of its most popular events, run as the World Shin Kicking Championships. The event now draws crowds of thousands of spectators.
God, I would absolutely go to see shin kicking.
You better believe it.
Can you wear this is a stupid question, but can you wear a shin guard?
Okay, I'll get into the rules.
sorry,
During
sorry.
each round, the combatants face one another and hold on to each other's collar.
That
That's
makes
right.
this even better.
You don't want them to run away.
So this is a sport that requires a collared shirt.
Yeah, it also requires when you grab his collar to go, you son of a bitch. So that's the only way I ever see anyone grab
Shin
each other's.
kickers.
Yeah.
Assume the position.
You son of a bitch.
So they're up in each other's grill, as they say. They grab each other's collar.
Okay.
Traditionally, in the Cotswold Olympics, they wear white coats representing shepherd's smocks.
Well, duh.
Yes.
Of course. Because, it was practiced by miners in the early days, so of course,
they would obviously wear shepherd smocks.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course, it makes sense.
The miners would get their jollies by going and say, hey, you guys want to go beat up some shepherds?
Yeah.
Fucking pussies.
We'll kick them right in the shins. We'll kick them in the shins till they fall over. They typically attempt to strike their opponent's shin with the inside of their foot as well as their toes.
Really?
Yeah.
Inside of their foot.
It doesn't seem like your inside of your foot's very padded.
Right. It seems like they want to do that in the equivalent of like a hook in boxing. They
kind of
want to get the legs swing
for
around.
this?
I think that you're barefoot.
See, and plus you'd get more pressure per square inch with just the toes, with a good hard kick.
Oh, wait, no, they wear shoes.
Well, still,
Sorry.
No,
pressure per square
okay,
inch,
so, I mean, if you got a hard-soled shoe.
Yeah.
But
makes
still,
sense.
the open
pop.
part
That
of your
makes
foot, I mean,
Yeah.
that seems like soccer's influence at work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably. They'll play soccer, and then they're like, that's the only way I know how to kick.
Actually, in soccer, I think there's a lot of different ways of kicking.
Nah, fuck you.
That's the one thing
So,
to be said for soccer.
Success in the event requires both agility and the ability to endure pain.
Well, yeah.
Oh,
No shit.
and
That's the no
dealing it
shit
out.
moment.
Well,
Now,
the agility, makes me
can
think,
you be jumping? Can you be grabbing their collar, jumping around, dodging shin kicks
that's part of it. I think that
bob and weave?
from the little I saw of it online, it seems like they're pretty aggressive. They do a lot of kicking. It's not a lot of
Yeah.
positioning.
Oh, best defense is a good offense.
Exactly. They just kind of go to town on each other until someone falls over. Matches do not last that long.
It's hard for me to imagine there being too many tactical nuances to to shin kicking.
But the matches are observed by a referee, also known as a stickler.
Oh my God, that's great.
Yeah.
I
You
am
were
so
right, Phil.
glad.
This might be the best weird sport we've ever had.
Exactly. It's the one I want to play
It's
the
where
most.
the
Yeah.
phrase "you're a stickler" comes from. Oh, he's a stickler.
From the 1750s Cotswold Olympic Games, yeah. He determines the score of the match. Modern competitions are won by the combatant who wins 2 out of 3 against his competitor. You fall over in pain, and you've got to get up and do it again.
Your shins would
Amazing.
hurt really bad.
Yeah. No, that would kill. Like, imagine being dragged up and be like, oh, right, it's 2 out of 3. It's like, I fell over for a reason.
I know. Usually, it's like in boxing, like reviving the guy and being like, all right, well, he knocked you out this time, but
Yep, back in
if you
there.
can win the next 2, wow.
Yeah, these people's shins must suck now. Historically, some shin kickers wore steel-toed boots during the competitions and tried to build pain tolerance by hitting their shins with hammers.
Oh!
Yeah. These people these are real athletes.
This is a freaking amazing sport.
This is a man's sport.
Wow.
You are wow, Joel.
We have to go to Cotswold and see some of this.
I agree.
Steel-toed boots?
But here's
It seems totally unnecessary.
No,
to throw
here's
in.
where it all goes away. In modern competitions.
Oh, every time you hear in modern competition,
I don't like you guys are wearing steel-toed boots.
they're gonna make you wear a helmet. And,
The combatants are required to wear soft shoes
ugh.
and stuff their trouser legs with straw for padding.
What?
Ambulance crews also attend the events in case of injury.
You know,
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, this sounds a lot like, like once they started making them wear gloves, boxing actually got a lot more dangerous.
Yeah.
Because the damage is being done to a person's brain instead of their face.
Yeah, and this one, instead of doing the damage to their shins, it goes into their shin brains.
Yeah, exactly.
Scrambles their shin brains.
How do you beat a person into submission twice by doing nothing but kicking them in the shins with soft shoes? And they have straw protecting them.
I assume
it just
they
seems
just
like
get
this is gonna
tired and fall asleep.
Extend matches for almost indefinitely.
Yeah. They probably just are like, all right, we've been kicking each other enough. I'll fall down.
You know what, guys? I'm going to propose it right now. We begin our own shin-kicking match Old Cotswold Rules. Go now.
What'd you say, you son of a bitch?
Ow!
No.
Ow!
Ow!
My
Ow!
shin.
There it is.
You can't do it 3 ways.
Ow! God! Stop! What? Oh, God!
Take that.
Jordan, how did you wear steel-toed boots? How did you know?
Yeah! Yeah!
Oh, man. All right, you win. You win.
I
You
am
win.
a Brooklyn
You win.
contractor.
All
You
right.
win. You
Okay.
fold your pizza. Best 2 out of 3. Yeah! Yeah.
So boot.
Oh, God. All right, I give. Mercy.
Okay.
Okay, that
The
comes
viewers
to
at
an
home.
end. Another weird sport. Oh, my shit hurt. For you, the listeners of Sports Podcast, Audible is offering a free audiobook download with a free 30-day trial to give you the opportunity to check out their service. I personally recommend a wonderful book called The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. Joel saw the movie. He said that it was okay. To download your free audiobook today, go to audibletrial.com/comedy podcast network. Again, that's audibletrial.com/comedy podcast network for your free audiobook.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the close of another Sports podcast. But before we go, we'd like to give you our contact information.
Yes, you can email us at sportspodcast@gmail.com. You can tweet us at sports3podcast. That's at sports3podcast. You can find us on Facebook by searching Sports Podcast, little top bar thing. Or you can find us on iTunes by searching Sports 3, all one word, Sports, then the number 3, all one word, space, podcast. Or you can find us on Stitcher Radio. Download the Stitcher app today and then search Sports Podcast. We'll pop right up there with all our episodes.
Awesome.
Yeah. Doing pretty good on Stitcher. Getting a lot of new fans, so welcome.
Welcome to everyone.
Yes.
Lights up.
You have received this transmission from the Comedy Podcast Network. For more shows, visit comedypodcastnetwork.com.